Well, welcome everybody, and thank you for being here tonight. Again, Gears of War RosterMania with himself, NJCUBANO, the Gears of War Insider. Thank you guys for coming here tonight. I have another stacked lineup for you. We also have a lot of information to give out in regards to Gears of War, mainly due to the unfortunate events that happened in Mexico City. We obviously all know what happened due to the earthquake. A very unfortunate event for a lot of people. And I think it was the greatest idea to postpone this event. So we're going to touch a little bit about that tonight. We also are going to be talking about the 2K top 16 placings from this past weekend's first 2K that just occurred. We're going to be talking about the top 4 teams, the top 2 teams, and the top 16 teams overall. We also have a new sponsor that is coming to the Gears of War RosterMania family. I'm very happy to have them here, and they're actually a very good friend of mine. His name is Daniel Nagy. His gamer tag and Twitter is at @0_excel. Former teammate of mine, very good friend of mine. He's been there, done that with me through everything. He is starting up New Colt. They are a new esports apparel company. He's going to be coming on here to talk to you guys about it and kind of explain where he's at in regards to his startup company, and give us more information and I guess the background on the business side when it comes to something like that in a startup. After that, we have a co-owner and esports talent manager of the Ladies Gaming HD. Her name is Kayla. I put her up on there, her personal Twitter, as well as her organization's Twitter. We're going to be having her here to speak about what she does, inside, outside of the game, why she came to Gears. And if you guys, of course, have questions ever, you always put it in the chat or DM me directly before I go live, and I'll be happy to answer those questions or have my guests answer the questions as well. Lastly, we bring on the founder and CEO of the Warrior Gaming League, Scott Giddings. It's the first ever gaming league specifically for our active duty veterans and their families. He has a lot to say. You guys are going to be extremely surprised that something like this is even happening currently within the esports world. He has some awesome ideas. He actually has a lot that's already going on prior to this episode starting. So I want to have him on here to kind of explain what he does and what his company does, and what they bring to the veteran families out there. Obviously, we have a whole bunch of military family and friends. I personally have some friends in the military that are actually back home that are huge gamers. They're always playing Call of Duty, so it's kind of interesting and exciting to have Scott Giddings on here to be able to explain that to you guys and kind of give you a different side of the gaming world, so to say. But like I said, guys, we're gonna start off with Mexico City being postponed. Now, unfortunately, obviously Mexico City has been postponed. Very unfortunate events due to what had happened over there. There has been earthquakes. There has been a numerous amount of casualties, unfortunately, and that's not something that we want to send our people into, especially after something like that. Jack Felling and the coalition happened to cancel Mexico City for now, as a postponement until further notice, and it looks like they're going to be relocating to a actual United States of America state for the event. Not too sure if they're going to be going back to Mexico City anytime soon, so I just wanted that to be known, just because of all the damage and the structural damage and just the emotional impact that the city of Mexico, or sorry, the country of Mexico is going through right now. It's not necessarily the time to have an event, so to say, at that country. So we're going to be sitting back and we're going to be, listening to where this event is going to take place. It is going to be in North America, like I said, but where? We don't know. They also had put out an article that I'm going to put it up on here for you guys, just so you can kind of read it, take a look at it, and kind of get an idea of, why it was done and their explanation behind it. Like I said, it's very unfortunate. I know a lot of people were looking forward to Mexico City. Mexico City happens to be one of the most exciting, most energetic. The fans are amazing. The people love Gears of War there. You could just tell. And, it's sad and unfortunate that we weren't able to start off the season there. But I'm sure the coalition is working really hard to get us a new location, a new contract, and hopefully we'll know within a month or two. I'm sure they're going to try to land it in the fall season, I would hope. Obviously before we get into the new year. So that's something that we're going to be looking forward to. But like I said, I put in the stream the article for what Gears of War put out there, but just to read it for you guys that don't know, the esports team came out with something that said, over the past few weeks, Mexico has experienced a series of natural disasters, including hurricanes, and most recently, a devastating set of earthquakes. Our hearts go out to Mexico, where many Gears of War fans and players have been personally affected by this tragedy. To aid in earthquake relief efforts across Mexico, the coalition has redirected an equal portion of funds raised through the recent Carmine Charity Pack. Now that's huge, and you don't see that very often, so I just wanted to throw that out there. But to continue with their article, they also say, due to these recent events and for the safety of all fans, players, partners, and staff, the Gears esports team has made the difficult decision to postpone the Gears Pro Circuit Mexico City Open from its original date to early 2018. Now, you guys heard it there, early 2018. Probably not going to see an event this year, unfortunately. Obviously, all the fans are upset, but it's okay, guys. I promise you, they will make it up to you. They always do. The coalition has a very good, how could I say, very good way of making it up to the players, and hopefully they throw something else out there, or extra prize pool, whatever it is. So we have to be understanding of the current situation. They say we are working closely with our partners to announce a new date as soon as possible. We understand that many have already booked travel and accommodation, and we recommend contacting your travel providers, as many will offer recourse in the event of a natural disaster. Now, to touch upon that, because I know a lot of people were talking about Mexico City and their flights and their hotels, my word of advice, and I'm talking with experience, I couldn't make it to London last second. I was supposed to go to London with Raw Talent, and a day or two before the event, I was told by current job, I was actually just starting there, that I was going to be sworn in that Friday. I was originally supposed to be sworn in that Monday, but unfortunately it was changed, due to schedule conflicts within the unit, and I had to show up Friday. And obviously I wasn't going to skip out. That's my profession. That's what I'm still doing right now. That's why I'm wearing this suit. So I obviously had to cancel London. I did call the hotel. I did call the airline, United Airline, and they didn't want anything to do with it. They didn't want to refund any money. They never refunded me any money in general. I was pretty much on my own, unfortunately. But what you guys need to do, especially now if you guys are watching this, is to call your credit card companies. I know CitiCard did an amazing job, and they also have insurance just for that, for disasters, for work-related things, family-related things. So I actually disputed all my charges on my CitiCard, and I actually got back every single dollar that I spent in regards to London. So I tell you guys as a word of advice in regards to getting your money back, because nobody planned for this. Of course, we'd rather attend the event. We'd rather play at the event. We'd rather have a great weekend in Mexico City, a beautiful place. So nobody really wanted this to happen. So the fact that it's even a question being asked by these companies is unfortunate and not something that we necessarily want to deal with. But that's just a word of advice for you guys. So make sure you go ahead and check that out. So to finish up this article that they put out, they also said, with this postponement of the Mexico City event, the first Gears Pro Circuit event of Season 2 will now be held in the United States later this fall/winter. We ask for your patience and consideration as we work to transition our plans and schedules accordingly, and look forward to sharing details on the kickoff location and date for Season 2 of the Gears Pro Circuit once confirmed. Your dearest, the Coalition and Gears Esports team. I want to give a big thank you to them. Of course, it's never easy to have to cancel a big event like that, and to be able to come out publicly and explain why and kind of give us an idea of what to expect and so forth. So I want to give the Coalition and Jack Fellin a big shout out. We thank them for everything they do. It's not easy, guys. Contracts are never an easy thing. Being able to book different events and different locations are never easy. So the fact that we even are going to have another event and be able to kind of work around this one that was just canceled is great. But we are going to move on from that topic. Again, Mexico City has been postponed, guys. If you haven't noticed already, just want to let everybody know that it was supposed to be happening next month, October, middle of the month. It is now being postponed to either a later date and location of this year or early 2018. So that's the first topic. We just cleared that up. Moving to topic number 2 of the night. September 17th, 2K results. Now, this past weekend was the first 2K of Season 2, and it was quite frankly pretty interesting with the teams that came out on top and came into the top 4, top 8, top 16. You know, everything changes, everything is different. You know, you can't count anybody out. It's a new season, new game, new teams, new players, new everything, you name it, it's happening. So I wanted to go through the top 16 first. That's going to be obviously your 9 to 16th teams. We have E United GG, and we'll talk about that first. E United GG, top 8. I think pretty much all of last season except Las Vegas. They placed 9th to 12th. They came in top 16. Now, I know everybody was talking about them. Everybody was making a big stink about it. And, you know, obviously people were confused why E United was in the top 16 and not top 8 where they should be, if not top 4. But, you know, it happens. It's the first 2K of the weekend. We are playing online. You know, people have off days. People have on days. You don't know where the matchups came up. But that was one of the notable pro teams that came into the top 16 from this past weekend's 2K, which was crazy to even hear about. Next, we had Variance Gaming. They came in top 16 as well. They're a newer org in the esports gears scene, and we're happy to have them. Obviously, they obviously placed top 16 their first 2K, which is always awesome. You know, the more pro points you have, the better seeding you have at actual live events. So that's great placing for them, and wish them the best of luck going forward into the season as well. We also had Rezik and his team. Now I say Rezik and his team because they're actually looking for an organization right now to represent. He plays with Clouds, he plays with Crash. So they're actually looking for an organization to represent for the first season. But they placed top 16, not where they wanted to place. I did speak to Rezik. He was one of my guests last week. And, you know, obviously that's not what they expect. They wanted top 8. But again, like I said, it's only the first 2K of many to come, especially with Mexico being canceled. There are going to be more 2Ks to play in. So nothing to worry about. We also have LN Gaming. They actually contacted me after the 2K to thank myself and Gears of War RosterMania for putting their name on the map. I also tweeted out all these teams, guys, as well over the weekend. Kind of just to give a shout out to the players, to the organizations, and for everything that they do. You know what I mean? They just want to be noticed. They want to be acknowledged. And that's kind of what I do on the show. To everybody, anybody and everybody. So we also have Vanquish Gaming. They also placed top 16 this weekend. That's Traumasaur and Atomic, two very experienced players. They placed top 16. I expect better from them, but like I said, it's only the first 2K, so they do have time to make up. They are playing with 3 younger guys that are extremely good. Rep Solid is their captain from that team, so I'm sure we'll see them in the top 8 eventually. But like I said, top 16 is not bad. It's all about those pro points. We also have Trifecta GG. Now, Trifecta GG was actually on the show as well 2 weeks ago with Jake Nasty. Since then, Trifecta GG has moved on from the notorious Jake. I did try to get one of the players on the show this week to kind of talk about it and what they plan to do going forward. I'm not too sure who their 5th is going to be now. They haven't confirmed it, but I did think they played with Jake, if I'm not mistaken, this past 2K. They placed top 16 again, not the placing that they obviously wanted or thought they would place in, but they placed top 16. We also have Fatal Strike's team. It was a pickup team. I know he was very I guess optimistic or enthusiastic about me saying it was a pickup team. It was no practice. They just got on. It was Empower, Rosado, former teammate of mine. Those guys placed top 16. And to round out the top 16, we had Frag Out and Domes' team. Now, I say that because, again, they don't have an organization and they didn't really have a team name, but they placed top 16. And I know that's obviously not the placing they wanted. But, again, it happens. Only the first 2K of probably 15 or more to come, maybe less than that. So it's really not that big of a deal. Now, we're going to jump to the top 4. Now, top 4 was really interesting. We all kind of expected these teams to be there. Obviously, we want to see a little bit of a change, but it's a little hard right now because those teams are continuing to be as dominant as they always have been. But of course, first place finishing off this first 2K of the Season 2 was Optic Gaming. Optic Gaming took first place. They beat Ghost Gaming for first place, obviously. So Ghost Gaming finishes off second. And then we had Fire and Ice and Echo Fox for third and fourth. You guys can put them as a tie because they don't play a consolation match. So that's your top 4 from this past weekend's 2K. Optic Gaming, Ghost Gaming, Fire and Ice Esports, and Echo Fox. Big shout out to those 4 organizations. I know they worked really hard to get where they are. Optic Gaming seems to be unstoppable, even with Icy being out. I mean, I just don't see anybody taking over that first place spot. Ghost Gaming gave them a really good fight. I'm not going to lie, I know Ghost Gaming has been practicing and playing really, really well lately. Rushies, I always talk about him. He's an extremely great player. He's fast-paced. He's very smart and super aggressive, which I like. And then we also had Fire and Ice Esports that finished that top 4. That's the team led by Demo Bounce, backed by CMG Gaming as well as one of their sponsors. Demo has done a really good job bouncing back from last season, you know, from his up and down that he had as a leader. But it seems like he's kind of stabilized now. We kind of look forward to him staying at the top 4. Obviously, he just hit it with this first 2K, which is great for him. And then we also have Echo Fox, led by Franchise or Kyle, whatever you want to call it. Basically, the former Envious squad. Now their 5th is Kyle instead of J-Ribs. Again, great squad, very experienced guys. You know, they're going to be probably a top 4 team for the whole season. Maybe they'll break out and they'll win another event like they did in Mexico City. Obviously with J-Ribs and not Kyle. But look forward to them, you know, making some noise. And hey, you never know. Maybe they'll come in first, they'll come in 4th. Hopefully we see some new names come up next weekend. But this is going to be something that I do every week, guys, with my show. I'm going to kind of talk about the 2K, the placings, the players, and whatnot. If you guys ever have any considerations, topics, ideas in regards to the 2K information, always be sure to let me know. You guys can email me or DM me. It only makes the show better. Obviously, I'm going to try to start introducing stats, but it's a little hard because it's just me. So I kind of own, operate, produce, technology, all that. That's all me. But as far as that, guys, that is it. We're going to move into the fun part now. We're going to be bringing on my first guest of the night. His name is Daniel Nagy, guys. He is a startup owner of Noob Cult. They are an esports apparel company, owned and operated by my good friend Daniel Nagy of almost 10 years now. Dan and I killed the Gears of War scene, starting at the end of Gears of War 1 into Gears of War 2. We won on multiple lands. We've placed top 2 in almost every online tournament when it came to Gears of War 2. We won the biggest Gears of War 3 LAN tournament, or tournament in general that people don't know about. It was 32 teams at an NJ Halo. It was me, Zero Excel, Karil's, and Immortal Spawn. 32 teams total, and we came out on top, didn't lose one map. We actually beat Praised in the finals. He always talks to me about that. We actually bodied them, so I hold that against him. So I'm going to be bringing Dan on here. Dan is ready. Dan is going to have his video camera on, which I love. I always like when my guests have video on. Makes it for a good time, very entertaining, and so forth. But before I bring him on here, guys, make sure you follow at Noob Cult on the screen, and also the owner himself, Zero Excel, on the screen. I always try to give a shout out to all my guests, you know, whether they're companies, and always try to keep it as positive. So without further ado, guys, let me go ahead and get Dan on here and get the show started. Now that we're done with all the serious stuff. Dan.
Yo.
What up, buddy?
Nothing much, man. I'm guessing I'm live?
You are live.
Nice, nice. How's everyone doing tonight?
They're doing good so far from what I see. Bot Empire's in here, Kuda, Millionaire, Nathan Blum, my friend Shamanzis. So we're doing well here, Dan. I was excited to have you on here. I know you have a lot to talk about in regards to Noob Cult, and you just started it up. Obviously, yep. I love startup companies. I guess you consider myself a startup as well. So we're both hand in hand in this journey into the Gears, Gears esports, but it's just esports in general. Now, Dan, please introduce yourself to everybody in here.
So my name is Dan Nagy. People know me as Zero Excel. Former Gears of War Pro player. Played for Raw Talent, VBI, ZYN, Infinity for one event. That was Gears 1, Gears 2 is where I primarily competed. Gears 3 I competed a little bit, and then I took a break for pretty much the entire time, all the way until the first event of Gears 4. Played at the first event of Gears 4 and then had to stop competing. Newly father, have new responsibilities, don't have the time to dedicate with regards to competitive play. You know, to stay at the top level, you really have to put in the time and effort, you know, sometimes 8 to 10 hours a day, especially if you're behind the 8 ball like I was with competing. So I had to hang up the sticks. But, you know, I wanted to stay in the scene. So I came up with Noob Cult. It's a brand new esports apparel company, like you said. You know, it's just a startup just right now. So, you know, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. Let's see if I could just see myself. All right. So I could actually see myself because I was like talking and nothing. By the way, thank you, everyone. Gal RosterMania, thank you so much for having me. First, let me say that, even though I went to my spiel already. But, you know, thank you, everyone that tunes in. You guys are really what makes this show. You guys are what, you know, allows Gabe to do this every single week, allows Gears of War to grow. Even though I'm not competing, it's a game that I love. You know, there's a lot of people that have passion for it that are in this room right now. So without you guys, you know, we wouldn't be able to do anything. So thank you, everyone. Just want to say that. But yeah, so Noob Cult, brand new esports company. I'm sure you're going to ask me a couple different questions, you know, that what makes us different. So go away.
Go away. All right. So, guys, that's Dan. He introduced himself very well. Again, we were former teammates on Raw Talent in Gears of War 2, Gears of War 3, Gears of War 4. I mean, I've been playing with Dan for 10 plus years now. I've known Dan for 10 plus years. He's considered a brother to me. Dan is a business guy, always has been. He graduated from DeVry University. He works at a business company right now with the animals, an animal industry. He actually sells you know, product for pets and whatnot. So Dan is all about business. He's a very knowledgeable guy. This guy knows it all in regards to that. So when Dan came to me and told me about Noob Cult and told me that he was going to be, you know, investing and working on a new esports apparel company, I was all about it. Dan and I are already, you guys can say, part of the family. We are partners now, Noob Cult and Gears of War RosterMania. So we'll be talking a little bit about, you know, his process and what he's going to be doing. But Dan, Tell everybody here in the stream how you came up with the idea for Noob Cult and why did you start the company?
Sure. So I came up with Noob Cult basically because, you know, I was looking to stay within the scene, looking to stay, you know, within Gears of War, but couldn't compete. So how could I kind of, you know, stay relevant, stay in front of people, have some fun? First, kind of messed around with streaming a little bit. You know, I was still doing the streaming. I really enjoy that. It's a lot of fun. But since you know, you mentioned I'm a business guy, I really wanted to get involved with something as far as like my own business. I've always wanted to own my own business. So, you know, I was kind of surveying the marketplace and I was like, is there any companies out there doing esports apparel? And I saw there's a couple companies out there doing esports apparel, but they're not tapping into a fun market. They're tapping into kind of strictly a design market. So, you know, that's kind of where I came up with the idea. I was like, I could create this company and kind of have fun, but, you know, stylish designs. So you saw the designs, Gabe. You know, some of them are like, you know, one of them's like going pro, getting a Latina. You know, it's like, it's a funny saying. It's something that people say within the community right now. But it's relevant to the gear scene, and it's also put a little kick on the stylish design. You know, so that's where the concept came from. The name itself, Noob Cult. So you're a noob. You're new to something. I'm new to this aspect of owning my own business. RosterMania Cup. But so I'm new to owning my own business. But when you're a gamer, you kind of like you kind of have a different persona. You know, it's kind of like almost like a cult lifestyle, even though it's not like the negative cult lifestyle. So that's where Noob Cult kind of the name brought itself from. So yeah, and like I said, the concept of differentiation, I'm focusing purely on things that are fun and stylish, whereas you have a lot of people out there that are just focusing in on the stylish design of gamer apparel. So, trying to really tap into a different marketplace, and also it is a new startup. I have all the materials. I have all the equipment I need. I'm making everything in-house. I'm not outsourcing it. So I keep my costs low, allow me to offer, my customers a really good price, and then also allow me to control the quality. Oh, you want me to stand? Can you stand? Can you stand this?
No, I think they were talking about the Nightbot.
So, yeah, I mean that's really it. That's what Noob Cult is about. There's 8 different designs that I started with. Designs for the bread. You're like, going pro, getting a Latina. What else I got? I got one just with the logo, kind of representing the brand. What else I got? Then I also have Want You for the Cog, which is kind of like, a play on Uncle Sam. And then, a couple of designs, but if you check them out on Twitter, if you go to twitter.com/noobcult, you'll see all the designs there. But I'm super excited about it, and I'm hoping the people here, what's an L? Oh, so yeah. So take this L real quick. So like, hold this loss. So like, it's used for your shit talk. So like if you're sitting across from someone you're competing, after you beat them around, hold this L real quick. Like, so it's kind of like in your face. If you remember Meadowlands, we had the staples that was easy button. So it's just kind of like, it's a way that you could introduce fun aspects kind of into gaming.
No, of course. And that one's, I'm sure there's numerous different shirts that we can go into and ideas just with our team alone, you, me, Rob, Mike. I'm sure we have so many, different ideas that we could give you. We could probably use Mike with he's full red, and we'll probably put like 10% of damage or something like that, a screenshot of it. But I'm sure we could kill it with that. Now, I know you kind of brought it up, Dan, but to be more specific, what makes Noob Cult different from other apparel companies out there on the marketplace currently? I know you kind of hit on it, but I want it to be, more of a specific question. What makes Noob Cult different? I know you brought up the ideas of, the different designs, more of like a funnier outlook on it, which I think is absolutely right. You usually just get shirts with regular logos on there of teams and that's it. But what are you trying to do differently than that, I guess, most apparel companies are doing currently?
Yeah, so like I mentioned, the design aspect is definitely one thing. Also, I'm doing everything in-house. A lot of people, they outsource their jobs, right? So, let's say they have someone do their heat transfers, or they have someone, do their vinyl cutting. I'm doing everything in-house. Allows me to have the best quality control. Allows me to give you guys the best product. And, I'm going to work on refining that and always constantly bringing the best to my customers. So that's really what sets us apart compared to everyone else. Yeah, listen, GG No Reshirt, that would be awesome. Definitely a great design. I want to have fun with it. So if you guys have any concepts out there, just let me know, because I'm down for the cause. Unlike someone in Dallas when Cloud asked them if they're down for the cause, but that's a separate story. Won't go into that.
Yeah, buddy. But yeah, of course, anybody that's watching this, make sure you guys contact Zero XL or even New Colt directly. I know today, after the announcement, of course, here on the show, Dan is going to be full on with this. He's going to be offering shirts at a very low cost, probably the lowest cost you guys are going to see really right now in the esports world in regards to apparel. But Dan, that's the question leading to that. What stage is your current startup company in right now?
Sure. So it is a startup company. I do have all the materials, all the equipment in-house. So I'd say I'm around 3 weeks from being able to ship orders. If you'd like to place an order, I am taking pre-orders through the New Colt Twitter page. My website is under construction, so I can only take orders directly via Twitter right now until that's fully up and running. But it is still a new startup, but within 3 weeks I'll be shipping product. So
awesome. Yeah, within 3 weeks. I mean, that's good. That's pretty good, being the fact that you literally just started up your startup company. 3 weeks is good enough. So guys, like Dan said, make sure you contact at New Colt. I put it up here on the title board so you guys, so it makes it easier for you to follow Dan and keep up to track with himself and his company. Dan, if I had to ask you, and this is off topic, this is just a random question. I like to make it fun.
Oh boy.
So throughout your years of gaming, guys, Dan has been a professional gamer for a long time now. I don't know, I can't even remember the last time Dan was even considered an amateur player. But Dan, throughout your career, who would you say was your best teammate, or the teammate that you, I guess, played the best with or had the most fun with? And it doesn't have to be me, because I know you were gonna say me, but I just wanna put it out there.
You gotta say that with Rob in the room, huh? You gotta just start this controversy right now.
I do it with every teammate of ours. Listen,
teammate. Best team that I ever played with was Columbus, Raw Talent, me, you, Rob, Mike. That was the best team I've ever had. That was the most fun I ever had. We were like a brotherhood. You remember when Rob bought us Gears of War boxers, and like we fucking were walking around my parents' house in Gears of War boxers.
You weren't supposed to bring this up.
It's all right, man.
It's cool. I like this.
I'm comfortable with my sexuality, and but no, man, that was as far as best player goes. I'm gonna have to say you, because we had the most history together at any player. Whether I was on the team or off the team, we always found a way to make it back together. Blaze says, "Fuck this shit, I'm out." I'm sorry, Blaze. We were a teammate, man, but I hit you up to play. You don't want to play with me no more.
He'll be all right. Blaze will be okay. We're not gonna bring up WCG, so we'll be all right.
Oh man, we had you. We had legacy. That should have been a dub.
Actually, that's a great question. So Dan, I'm gonna paint the picture for everybody. Dan has been on and off the team. After Columbus, we placed extremely well. Dan played like an animal, I'm not going to lie. And now since we're live, you get true emotions. Dan was probably one of the better players of the event. And after the event, in regards to prepping for the next event, Dan went ghost mode for like a month. He was like, "I'm hanging out with Caitlin. I'm having water ice." So Rob and I, Immortal Spawn and I, are completely freaking out. We're like, "Does this guy still want it?" I'm already like, "Yeah, this guy needs to go." So unfortunately, we had dropped Dan. It wasn't the first time, but we dropped Dan. It wasn't that we wanted to do it, but the best part was we ended up playing Dan at WCG Nationals, and Dan made it. Dan placed third, Dan, which is awesome. Dan and Deadly came in and played third.
So we placed third, right? So it was me, Deadly, Blaze, and Carlitos. And Carlitos, absolute monster. I love Mike. Always love playing with Mike. And Guy, Blaze, man, I love you, dude. So hope you're still in here, even though you said fuck this shit. I'm out. And dude, we beat the Insanes, we beat Infinity, High Distortion smashed his Astro, smashed his controller, and got in my face like, "Why are you smiling, bro? Why are you smiling?" Right? And I'm like, yo, we just beat you. We beat MBN LTZ plays. Yo, that was a crazy event. WCG, we were probably not projected to finish in the top, 6, 7, 8 teams, and we finished third. And Blaze played like an animal, man. I love you, bro. Carlitos played like an animal. Mike played like an animal. Avalanche, we should have had you. We should have had you, but you went off. I think you had 20 kills on security.
I went off. I'm glad you said that.
I was so mad. You had 20 kills on security. I was like, what the hell, man? Just kill this guy in button. I was winning outside every round. I was fighting him on the outside. I'm like, just kill this guy in button, man. Oh, man.
I wasn't letting that happen, Dan. That's why I brought it up. And why I saw Blaze's name, I'm like, I have to bring this up. That was by far one of the best matches I ever played. I was like, I'm not losing to Dan and Mike. Let's step it up. And a couple of other explicit words went on, and I was going crazy. But, yeah, I think I ended up putting up like 20 kills on security and ended up bodying on Avalanche. And I was like, I'm not losing.
So this is how it was. It was like 20 kills, 3, 3, 1. It was a joke. You had carried that team to victory. I was so mad.
Yeah.
I was so mad. And as Blaze said, we went to the last round. On Avalanche.
They should have never even got there. I was like, hello? I'm killing this guy every time. Blaze was on short steps. He probably won't remember or admit it. Was on short steps, and I bodied him every round. I'm like, I'm killing him. This is too easy. I'm kidding, Blaze. Don't worry. Don't get mad at me. Oh, man. That was a good time.
It was a great event. It was, one of the fun times, in competing. And I love looking back on those days, man. I really do. I'm excited for all these new players out there competing. You guys have a chance to make your own memories, like the ones that we're talking about. And you guys have the perfect stage. We played for chump change. We played for first place was freaking $20,000.
I know.
We booked our own flights. We got our own way there. We didn't rely on anyone to do anything for us, and you guys have such a platform to excel in, and I just hope you guys don't take that for granted, because it really is a once in a lifetime opportunity. So I won't hold up your show. We could sit here and probably talk small talk all about good times. So I want to let you get back to the show. But thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to announce Noob Cult. Please go give me a follow on Twitter. It's twitter.com/Noob Cult. Give my main page a follow, twitter.com/0_excel. And check out the products, and hope I could have you guys as customers. Thank you, guys.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, Dan, let me say goodbye to you. Dan, I appreciate you coming on the show. Guys, make sure you follow Dan. Dan, you have a good night, and if you need anything, you know where to get me.
You got it, man. Peace, guys.
Later, homie.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that was Zero Excel, a.k.a. Daniel Nagy, former teammate of mine, good friend as well, 10-plus years. He is part of the original 4 Horsemen in regards to Raw Talent. When I first started it up, it was myself, Daniel Nagy, Immortal Spawn, and Deadly as the original 4. We have an awesome past. Dan and I have been through good times. We've been through bad times. Dan knows my whole family, so I would do anything for Dan. And when Dan told me about this new startup called Noob Cult, I was absolutely intrigued and wanted Dan on here for the first episode of his announcement. So if you guys could do me a huge favor, make sure you follow Noob Cult, follow Zero Excel. Esports apparel is a new thing now. Like he said, he has super competitive prices, and he's taking orders through Twitter currently until his website is up and running. But again, thank you, Dan, for coming here, and I hope Dan entertained you guys. Dan is a funny guy. I always have a good time with him. So I appreciate him coming on here and speaking to you guys. But next on the list, guys, we have co-owner of Lady Gaming HD, Kayla herself. She's going to be coming on here to speak about herself, what she does, her esports talent manager position that she has. She also does a lot on the outside of gaming. She happened to break it down for me a little bit, which is hilarious. The fact that she does so much, but she's actually calling me now. She's ready. Hello.
Hello.
What up?
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good.
I'm excited to have you here on the show. I was doing a little introduction before you called me, but guys, this is Kayla. She's here tonight to talk about Lady Gaming, talk about herself, talk about Gears, talk about her whole outside of Gears life. Like I said, she gave me a huge breakdown of different things she does, which I was laughing because it was just so much and so many different areas of life. So Kayla, please introduce yourself and tell us why you're here tonight.
Well, hello. My name is Kayla Calciano. For you guys that probably do not know how to say my last name. And it's Kasama Kismet.
Wow.
For everybody else who doesn't know my gamer tag.
Yeah, we're going to stick to Kayla. Kayla sounds good. Sounds good to me.
Sounds good. Or you guys can call me Sama, because I have the Twitch show Singing with Sama. So a lot of you guys nicknamed me that over the past year.
Sama, great. Welcome, Sama.
Hello. I'm here tonight. Introduce who I am. Introduce that myself and Callie Snow in the comments have taken over Lady Gaming.
Very
Totally
cool.
revamped it. We got a new logo coming out, a brand new Gal roster.
Very cool. That's always new. That's always cool to introduce a new roster. Is that something that you guys have been working on, or is it some of the older roster? Kind of give us a breakdown of your roster that you got going.
Completely new.
Oh, God.
That's the only way we can say it. Completely new. And it's been a long journey, but I feel as though we really have those last pieces. So you guys, if you want to follow us on Twitter, we'll be announcing it soon.
Awesome. Which I put your guys' Twitter on there, so like you said, guys, you make sure you follow them for their new roster announcement that's coming out. Now, Kayla, question for you: what drew you to Gears of War? What about Gears of War brought your attention to it?
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right. So growing up, my parents both played. My mom especially. I would sneak up and watch her play Resident Evil, Silent Hill, get nightmares, the whole nine. So I played by myself for a long time, and with my parents. And I didn't socially get into gaming until I was 11, 12. And my grandfather, he dropped me off at a store that they ran LANs every single day. But back then it was Halo. After that, I went to COD until, it was unbearable and I couldn't do it anymore. And then from there, I kind of just drew back and just played by myself all the time, Skyrim, The Godfather. I don't know.
The Godfather.
Stuff.
Dope.
Yeah.
Dope game.
Dope. Loved it.
That was a good game, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. It's
Loved
right in
it.
front of me.
Oh, God.
Sims. You name it. I played it. So, I was always looking for a game that, fit that place in my heart. And it's funny, really, one day I went to a friend's gathering and they were playing on the Xbox, a game I'd never seen before. I was like, what is this? And they were like, try it. I immediately get snub execution. It was beautiful. I loved it. I was like, all right, I'm about to play this. I had forgot that I had bought a Gal Xbox. So I had Gal sitting at home unwrapped, Gal 4. Now, I mean, I'm new to the scene, but nobody in 4 games has come further than I have in the last 9 months, and that's facts.
Wow.
And I'm only getting better every day.
Good for you. Good for you.
So,
So keep going.
I mean-
This is great storytelling. I'm enjoying it. Let's keep the story going. The Xbox and the execution business. Let's keep it going.
Well, from there, really, I started playing every day. I've been playing every single day since I fell in love with this game. Even though every day there's a new update that makes me learn it again, that's what I love about it. And I mean, from there, I really just started adding everybody that I played with in pubs. I just trained every single day. I don't for nothing. And really, I got into my first private lobby, and I was like, with random people that I met who had their friends that they randomly met. Shout out to Moments and Godplexity in them. This is where I met them. And then Hexy's really like after. Well, I'll get to that part. But but I was like, how do you win? Like, what are they doing like with their sticks that I'm not? Because I don't like. What is that crazy shit? And they're like, this is wall bouncing.
Oh God.
And then from there, I trained and trained and trained, and I got picked up by VV Gaming. It's an organization that's still getting off their feet as well. And that's where I met Hexy's. And from there, we started doing nightly 1v1s. And I swear, that boy is, like, amazing. I learned my motivation and everything from him, basically. Like, that was my bar. I wanted to be as good as him always. And from there, I was a free agent again because I was having difficulties meeting new girls in the scene because I was new. And I found Lady Gaming, and they took me on as captain because the old owner, he said exactly this to me, that nobody had the heart that I did. Is that, like, doesn't matter how good you are, it's that grind, it's that heart. Is that people, they always want to go on teams and just let it, like, make them, and nobody wants to make the team. So from there, like, you guys will shortly find out who my journey led me to, and I'm really confident in these girls. And as you saw in the chat, we take no L's. So
take
I'm
no
really
L's out here. I like
to start
that.
Publicly scrimming and stuff. Yep.
Of course. Once you guys start scrimming, you start feeling yourselves out and, you know, working through maps and rotations and going through your wins, your losses. I'm sure you guys are going to pick it up fast. It's always good to have girl gaming teams out there. You guys, you know, should be competing with the best. You know what I mean? You guys put in just as much time, just as much work as anybody else does. So it's always interesting to, you know, to be able to bring somebody like you on here and to kind of shine light on that. One thing that interested me was that you said you're a co-owner and you're an esports talent manager. Tell us a little bit about that.
So when we took over Lady Gaming, we saw a baby that could be a full-blown, like, woman, if you want to put it like that. Instead of just being solely on gears, we wanted to make it a home for women everywhere in gaming. Because, as I said, I had difficulty finding women when I first started. And it was, you know, like, something that should be common. Like, you should be able to know where to go to play with only women and feel like guys, it's different. Like, you guys don't feel like it's, like, anything different than, oh, there's a girl there. But girls, it's like, once you get into an atmosphere where it's supportive and, like, other women, it's totally different. So we really just wanted to make it multi-platform, multi-gaming. So what I've been doing is I've been contacting so many females, and I've been meeting so many new people. And, like, the best part of that is when a girl tells me that they have never been able to find a girl, and that I had just basically gave them lifelong friends.
That's awesome.
And that they always have someone to be on with. So any girls that are out there that are watching, or anybody that know anybody that plays anything, we are taking both streamers and girls, but not for gal, because we got our solid 5 and our sub.
Well, now that you bring that up, I know you said you're looking for, you know, girl gamers in general, streamers, players, doesn't matter. I happen to have somebody who'd be really interested. Her Twitter, is Immortal Spawn. Mortal Spawn, yeah, go ahead and look that up. Very good player. She's been playing for a while now. Dear to me. Make sure you check that out. It's at Immortal Spawn.
Immortal Spawn. Oh. Maybe you should send it to me. I'm trying to look it up and I can't. It was a boy.
Woo! Yeah, buddy. Wow. Oh, I had to do that. I was trying to be as serious as possible, but I'm glad everybody got a kick out of that. You fell right for it, which made it even better. You're a dear for doing that. I know you didn't do it on purpose, but that made it even better because you're like, hold on, let me check. Immortal Spawn. Wow, he's a boy. Why is he a boy?
So you're gonna have to send that to me.
That was great. Hope Immortal Spawn. He was actually in here too, which is even better. I think he may have stepped out, but that was funny.
That's what he gets for stepping out.
Exactly. He gets trolled for that. So, to get back to the serious business, another question I have for you, Kayla, and this one, I know you're going to have a lot to say, which is great, but what other things are you into currently outside of gaming?
Okay.
I know there's a lot. You had a lot of different hobbies, different things. I'm very productive, but start from the beginning to the end. That's it.
As Alice in Wonderland, start at the beginning, get to the end, and then stop.
There you go. I like that.
Well, I have the regular hobbies. I like to do a lot of reading. I like to I guess this isn't regular. I like to study. Like, I like to learn new facts, like study history and science and stuff. Another big aspect that I'm in is I like to, besides modeling and photography, like both being a model and like actually diving into the art of photography, I do music.
Wow.
Not a lot of people know that.
Dope.
Yeah, I do hip hop. Mixtape. I'm very personal with my music. I'm like very poetic with it. So one day it's just gonna float on out there and you guys are gonna be like, holy cow.
Wow.
Who
So you're
is
kind of a
this?
big deal, or like an up-and-coming big deal is what you're trying to say.
I would say something of the sort.
So it's great to have you on here. Now, would it be too much to ask if you did like a little mixtape right now? I'm kidding.
Not that kind of rapper. I'm an artist.
You're an artist, not a freestyle.
Not a freestyle, showy person.
Gotcha. So you get into it. You put your headset on. You hold your ear. I never got that. You have your mic like right here, and you sing into it.
Play
I got
instruments. I got the piano, and I got my mixing equipment. I like to mix the beats and put like if anybody knows like what like lo-fi hip hop is, where you really like it's melodic, a lot of jazz, piano, and stuff like that. Not
Gotcha.
really like
Pretty interesting. That's like different.
The heavy
That's
stuff.
different. R&B, rap, hip hop, piano, violin. Yeah, sure. I got you. I
more
get
so like a Slick Rick, like Wu-Tang, like a storytelling type of artist. But besides that, I also have the store. I'm an all-around artist. I have a store that features my art, my paintings, my sculptures, my figurines. But a lot of my jewelry, I want to one day get into like clothing, but not to like a huge extent, just like little small lines. I have my line in stores.
Wow.
And I do a lot of stuff with like with crystals. If you guys are familiar with that, metaphysical things. But also I do antiques. I really like comic books and toys, so that's like my focal point on that. But like Storage Wars is real.
Storage
It's really real,
Wars.
guys.
Wow.
Like that's where I get a lot of my antiques from. I bid on storage lockers. That's really fun.
Wow. Excuse me, Gears player, rapper, $200.
Just for having me on the show.
That's great. We got to get you on the Storage Wars, like esports edition or something. That'd be great.
Oh my
That'd
goodness.
be dope. I'd be there though. I'd outbid you every single time because I'd have Immortal
Where your
Spawn's
money
money.
at?
I'd be like,
Yeah,
she's
Immortal
buying it.
Spawn's
I
money.
want it.
I want it.
That's it.
That happens. That's real.
Yeah. So tell us about that. Do you go to like actual storage places and like bid on this stuff?
Oh.
Like give us the breakdown. That's interesting. That's a different like whole topic right now, but tell us about that.
It's actually really cool. Like, so I love the show. Like, if everybody's like familiar with that, Pawn Stars, because I really love history. Like, there's just something about people's crap. It really tells a story. So I don't know. Like, we could really be associated with our belongings. But my great grandfather had passed away, and his name was Clayton. And I passed by a storage place called Clayton Storage, and something was like call. So I called. I was like, "Do you guys like what do you guys do with your old lockers? Like, do you guys like bid them off?" And he was like, "Yeah, it's actually tomorrow. I swear to you not." And this was like about 3 years ago, and I made it into like a family thing. My parents go with me. My sister wanted to, but she's a teenager, so she's a pooper right now.
she's a teenager. She's a pooper.
She's
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. She shouldn't be there then if she's a pooper.
And that's why she wasn't. Not pooping on my parade.
That's it. We're trying to buy some lockers here. We're not trying to have some pooping going on. All right, jeez.
And their lockers are so cool. You could open up one and it be jam-packed with stuff that has dust on it from God knows when, to lockers that have, unfortunately, like a family's like life in there that had just lost it. And I mean, my family had gone through that, so it's very sad and stuff, but you got to see the light in some of the situations. Like, I had bought a locker for $25 that somebody our age, it had to be our age, was living in it, and it was literally a broken drum set and a bunch of broken sticks and like some boxes. And I bought it. Something told me, and they're like, the guys behind me, they were like, "We don't want that Nirvana shit."
Oh damn! Wow, that's
I
disrespectful.
was like, well, I actually found a Indiana Jones prop replica in it that's worth about $30. That was it. And then I found a whole bunch of camping equipment, but this guy was weird. He had like cards that said Night Watch, like business cards. And he had a lot of horse stuff, like how to take care of horses and etc.
Night Watch. Wow. That guy
Night Watch.
I could definitely tell you that guy was a tool. I'm glad you bought out his locker and cleaned it out for him. I'm sure
My
he
parents got a
appreciates that.
lot.
I'm sure he appreciates you doing that for him. But Kayla, I didn't want to rush you off here, but we are going to bring in the last guest of the night. You had a lot to say, a lot of interesting things to say. It seemed like you had a lot of fans in the chat tonight, which is even better. Kuda was backing you up while I was doing some of my funny business while you were talking. But I appreciate you coming on.
We will say one thing.
Go ahead.
Kuda is my co-captain, guys.
Kuda.
I will announce that. Kuda is my co-captain. I love her. She's my right fucking hand. Well, sorry, on air.
It's okay. It happens. It happens. It's fine. Don't worry, guys.
I always yell at people on my show, like, you can't curse. You can't say nothing.
I mean, I try to give people the disclosure, but you know what? We're all human. It happens. So that's fine. But was there anything else that you wanted to say before you get off on here, Kayla?
Just shout out to the girls in the company and Callie. Callie's doing a lot for us. And shout out to Mom, Dad, and Hexies. Definitely Hexies. I shouted him out before, but I owe a lot to him. I wanted to quit a couple times and he didn't let me.
That's always a good friend. You know what I mean? When you're in your darkest moments and they're able to bring you back into it, that's somebody that you want to keep around for life.
Oh yeah.
But again, Kayla, thank you.
Much love.
I appreciate you coming on here, and I hope to see you soon enough.
Yes, definitely. Hope to be on again. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Take care. All right, guys. So that was Kayla. Appreciate her coming on here, speaking to you about Lady Gaming, about Kuda, who was being like a hall monitor in my chat while I was messing around. I want to thank Immortal Spawn for putting it out there that he's willing to play for Lady Gaming HD. So Kayla, if you're watching this, add Immortal Spawn, one of the best girl gamers in the community. professional player. He also runs TrickStrat, a new esports drawing app that he just released. She released, sorry, excuse me. But yeah, make sure you guys follow him. Make sure you guys follow Kata, the lady, also the Lady Gaming HD org. So we're going to be moving on to our last guest of the night. His name is Stephen. He's actually the owner, CEO, and president of the Warrior Gaming League. It has been officially formed. The Warrior Gaming League is a 501c nonprofit organization, guys. Their mission is to bring together soldiers through gaming to combat the psychological difficulties suffered through combat and a traumatic experience while serving overseas. They're providing video gaming tournaments. Will be the mechanism through which the league will both create a massive community of active duty veterans, dependents, and military supporters all around the world to raise funds, resources, and to support their programs that help the active duty military men and women of our country, and also the veterans and the dependents who have and will be transitioning from military to civilian life. They're speaking out support and resources for victims of sexual abuse in our military, and they also have been starting the Battle of the Branches and the World Gaming League Battle Stations tournament, which has already been happening and currently going on. The World Gaming League is founded by former serviceman and Purple Heart recipient Stephen Giddings. He is actually going to be my guest here tonight, but I wanted to give him the proper introduction just because what his company does and what he does is amazing, and I feel like we don't give enough support, and we don't do as much as we can as a country for our men and women in the military, past or present, veteran or not. And I thought it was a great idea to have him on here. I think he has a lot to say. He's a really good guy. He's very enthusiastic. Like I said, he comes with an awesome awesome amount of stuff that he's already been doing and been working on. Stephen Giddings overcame post-traumatic stress disorder and extreme depression through his involvement in video gaming and the esports community, which I thought was really awesome and great to have him talk about. Stephen served just over 5 years in the U.S. Army as an 11B infantryman. He was deployed twice to Iraq, once in 2006 to 2007, as well in 2008 with Bravo Company 122 4th Infantry Division. On his second deployment to Baghdad, Iraq, he was shot in the neck by a sniper on July 6, 2008. Now, this could tell you the severity of what Stephen has gone through in life. And I had to tell you guys this because, again, awesome story, and I can't wait to have him tell you about it. But still to this day, he suffers many injuries, like a lot of veterans do when they come back home. Stephen had difficulty transitioning to civilian life. He suffered chronic pain from his injuries, depression, and post-traumatic stress. He became estranged from his wife and contemplated suicide, which is something that we don't bring light to, and that's something that you don't see or you hear about enough on the media, and that's something that we need to talk about. That's something that a lot of people deal with, and the fact that Steve is so openly about this and willing to I guess teach others from himself is something that a leader does. That's not what just anyone does. That's what a leader does. To be able to explain their past, their goods, their bads, to better improve others and improve themselves through the process. In 2010, Stephen became drawn into video games and soon coped with his injuries. He began to recover with confidence, and through playing Call of Duty with his wife, they rediscovered common ground and drew closer together and reconnected. Now if that doesn't bring, I guess, excitement to you or goosebumps, that's amazing that Call of Duty and gaming in general was able to give Stephen confidence and to be able to help him, come back to life and realize, there is good and there is other things besides the military, coming back and living a civilian life and basically starting all over again for Stephen. So that's something that I wanted to put out there. Stephen grew stronger and mentally healthy enough to enroll into college, and by 2015 he had graduated from Austin Community College with a degree in game design and visual communication and vision. Feeling that gaming saved his life, founder of Warrior Gaming League, Stephen Giddings, dedicated his life to applying his experience to help others dealing with similar issues he had gone through. There is increasing evidence that video gaming can help individuals with post-traumatic stress disorder and can be a useful part of therapy for soldiers suffering from psychological effects of combat. Though gaming isn't meant to be an easy fix for veterans, but it is encouraged that members of the military, regardless of rank, to enjoy through a shared hobby which helps them relax their minds. So, to tell you guys, that's a big introduction for Stephen. I don't want to say any more. I don't want to take away from Stephen's story and what he has to say tonight. He is extremely excited to be here. Like I said, this guy is a leader. He's been through, a lot in life. I appreciate him being able to come on here today and tell you guys about that and speak about his military experience, his gaming experience, his tournaments experience. It's something that I think differentiates my show from other shows. We're not just about esports gears here. We're not just about esports. We're about everything. We're about learning from each other. We're about different experiences and different knowledge, because everybody has something to offer in life. Like my good friend Stephen said in last week's episode, if you meet somebody new and you spend some time with them, you'll soon learn that there's something about everybody that you'll love. You know what I mean? It could be what they've been through, similar hobbies. You guys like sports. You guys went to the same school. So it's kind of cool to be able to introduce so many different people to the show. And without further ado, I want to bring on Stephen on here. Like I said, he's ready to go. Stephen is a good guy, and I look forward to speaking with him here live for you guys. Wonder if he's there. Check my messages. All right, let me try him again. He did message me. He should be ready. There he is. Alrighty. Steven, how's it going, brother?
Hey, brother, what's up?
How's everything?
Man, things are going great. Just getting some work done. Definitely impacting some veterans. I definitely appreciate you bringing me on, man.
Of course, and I know you heard the introduction. I had a lot to say about you.
Beautiful. I love it. Man, thank you again for everything, bro.
Of course, Stephen. Like I said, I appreciate you. I appreciate all the active and past men and women that are in the military. Without you guys, we're nothing. I've always been a strong supporter. As you know, I'm a detective. So military, state workers, we're all on the same team. And I appreciate somebody like you doing as much as you already have, in and outside of the war, and as well as back home. So Stephen, I want you to introduce yourself to the show. Guys, this is Stephen, founder, CEO, and president of Warrior Gaming League. Stephen, take it away.
Man, I do appreciate everything. Gabriel is awesome, guys. For one, man, let's give a shout out for Gabriel. Definitely he goes over and beyond the Call of Duty for all of us. He's one of those freedom fighters that we talk about every day. Pretty much my job here at the Warrior Gaming League is to provide this home, this stability, or this whole community of veteran, civilian, active duty families. If it's your brother, if it's your sister, grandpa, grandson, you all are incorporated in the Warrior Gaming League. We want to make sure that everybody has a great time, but we also want to talk about some serious issues or help soldiers transition from military to civilian life. Because that was one of my biggest issues. That's what I struggled from leaving the military in 2005. Have to, actually. I had nothing else, so I tried killing myself several times. I tried overdosing. It was definitely a struggle. Leading on to that, after that year, I started realizing gaming and that passion and that love that I had. Not playing it every single day it's bad, because definitely, it affected my wife, my relationship, my family. But understanding the fact is, it put me into a place where I was able to cope and deal with the struggles that I was dealing with after being injured in combat. Definitely also pursuing that is I want to engage those soldiers that don't, in the end, it's those soldiers that are struggling what we have going on, or, the ones that are dealing with what I have, I want to make them transition into a better manner. As well as, I started this new program of Speaking Up for Sexual Abuse. It's a major important thing that's going on to our military, and I want to provide funding, resources, knowledge, or even classes to those that are struggling, that have struggled, or, to also give them better approach of if this situation had happened. At the Warrior Gaming League, we want to encourage everybody to stand up united. We stand united, we game. Gaming's that major important role. We're launching our Battle of the Branches with our Fort Campbell USO event here in the beginning of 2018. So that's going to be the start of the Battle of the Branches, as well as we're starting to create our battle stations here in Austin, Texas, as well as Fort Campbell. So definitely we would love anybody to be a part. Gabriel, you are amazing. Like, I can't thank you enough for even bringing us on here and like doing what you're doing, bro.
Of course, and I know you had great ideas with both those things that you have going on, and like I said, I try to introduce it as well as possible in regards to what you personally do and what you guys are doing in general for active and veterans and just families involved in it. Now, Stephen, why did you get into esports, or what drew you into esports?
So Elgin Davidson, I don't know if he's going to get mad at me for it, but let's throw it out there. We call him Mel, or Melinko with QuakeCon. He brought me to a convention one day, and he was like, "Hey man, I definitely love what you're doing," because I started up my own company, Esports Family, which is an LLC that's starting engaging into tournaments, esports tournaments. Well, he brought me out there, and we were going to do something potentially with QuakeCon and their BYLC. Things turned out to is like he brought me in backstage, BYLC, VIP access, all of it. Like, I got to see the pounding of the things. Like, I got to see everything. How amazing, how the brotherhood, the camaraderie, the yelling, the screaming is like if I was just in the military and we were doing the same thing. Like, I was sitting VIP behind everybody with these execs and all that. But like, I saw the crowd go crazy, and this was Quake Live. Like, I don't even know much about it, but it was. Man, it blew my mind. I sitting in the BYLC, running my own stuff, like playing my own games. Like, I got to see what the competitors wanted to engage in, or what they would love to see in QuakeCon, as well as these sports or tournaments. Period. Like, that was the bug that bit.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, like everything you just said, the VIP experience that you got, I'm sure that was like, all right, I need to get involved in this, and I need to bring what I do for a living or what I've done in the past, to reality with esports. That alone from your story, yeah, I think I would have been on board too as well if that was something that I was introduced to. Now, before we continue, Stephen, I just want to let you know, one of my good friends, Dean, and this is a shout out for Dean. Dean has a new gaming store that he opened here in New Jersey, at Howell, New Jersey, for everybody watching this. Awesome store, extremely huge. He has everything provided. He just wanted to let you know that if Warrior Gaming League ever needed to have a tournament or an event here in New Jersey, I could assure you that myself and Dean will do anything to help you guys out. So
when we talk about, brothers, like, I'm going to be in Atlantic City from the 27th through the 30th. I would love to get you in, Dean, involved. Let's throw Warrior game. Yeah, I'll be at Tropicana, the Tropicana Casino Hotel and Resort, and the 27th through the 30th. And I would love, if you and Dean want to get involved and let's throw this little tournament, man, I would love to have you, as well as bring in Ray Forrester from Microsoft. I'm planning on doing some pretty good stuff in New Jersey here next month. Like, guys, let's do it.
Oh, sick. Oh, dude, I didn't even know about that. I will 100% be there. You know this. Anything that I could do, even just me coming in general, I'll make sure I'm there. I'm all about it. I'm here to help you out. Stephen, what attracted you most to the industry? I know you told us about your story. That was enough to say. But what else attracted you? What drew you to the industry?
Video games, like playing it. I wanted to see firsthand what it took to make video games. And, like, I met Colin Blankenship with ACC, and he brought me in. And it was engaging. It was easy. But then I saw the ins and outs of video games. I don't want to sit there and jump on a box for 60,000 times in order just to test it. Like, I saw so much inside the making video games. It's like, do I really want to go this route, or do I want but it taught me so much about making video games, the impact, how the boundaries, the borders, the player immersion, like all that. It taught me so much, which drew me closer and closer to it. Definitely taking to the spiel with Colin Blankenship with ACC. I joined Operation Supply Drop. I was sending video game care packages to Iraq, to Afghanistan, to UK, Canada, like all around the world, and that just inspired me more. It's like, where, hey, these video games are helping soldiers, taken from my personal experience when we were playing War, or what was that one? What's that game where it's like you're taking over these countries and you're this little support game? We played it so much, whereas like that encouraged me to like, hey, video games are really helpful and it heals, and we see the passion, the love, the camaraderie, like definitely with soldiers, Army, Navy. I wanted to bring that competition because who's not better than the Army infantry. I'm just gonna say that's us.
We're just gonna throw that out there. Let's throw that out there.
Army infantry is the best. Then Marines, you got Air Force, we got Coast Guard, you got the Navy, but the Army's the best. Just kidding. We wanted to have that competition, that camaraderie, we wanted to build that brotherhood, but we also wanted to see civilians see that camaraderie, that brotherhood. We wanted to see that passion because not many civilians are engaged in what we do or how we talk or how we present ourselves. And we were wanting to incorporate that where we have this family, if you support us, and hey, man, we would love to have you aboard. Our first stop's Fort Campbell, USO. We're going to start that, launching the Battle of the Branches as well as our battle stations.
That's awesome. Now, with battle stations, give us a little bit more explanation on battle stations. What exactly is that for everybody in here?
Battle stations is our local teams program that we're going to start engaging in either volunteer activities. We're going to reach out into our communities. We're going to get people. We're going to host events. We're going to have a cause. We're going to start volunteering. We're engaging in our local communities. Our first startup is here in Austin, Texas. We're definitely doing a lot of engagement where I'm taking 4 soldiers to a pro boxing circuit on the 23rd of this month in September.
Cool.
In San Antonio. We're wanting to engage in the community as well as bring people in. It's like to see that we're not all bad, like just because we're suffering from PTSD, TBI, sexual abuse, like all that. We want people like civilians and all that to see that we love what we do and like we're proud of it. And we want you to get involved with us and grow this community together. We're definitely shouting out, we're wanting to help, even giving up our personal time or our resources for transitioning soldiers from military to civilian life. It was one of my struggles. I've created a transition guide as well as websites or resources they can use, and like a voice to speak out for sexual abuse because it's extremely important. So these battle stations like are locally hubbed to help these soldiers, veterans, civilians, or their families with some of these kind of issues or resources, funding, knowledge, just anything we could possibly do to engage, even providing a video game tournament to make them laugh or engage with their son, their child, or their spouses, while they're deployed.
Awesome. That is all interesting stuff, and awesome that you guys, somebody like you is able to do that for the, this huge community that nobody, thinks about, or, I guess just doesn't put it into perspective how many, active and past military people we have, men and women coming back and, are trying to integrate back into the civilian life. So I agree with you with, gaming. Gaming is a huge thing when it comes to, coping with things or being able to just get your mind off of things. And, somebody like yourself, through all the post-traumatic stress I'm sure you went through, nobody really knows unless you've been unless you've been there, So the fact that you were able to bring, Call of Duty, for example, a game that everyone plays, that everyone loves, you took that and that was able to bring you together. Now, tell us a little bit about that. I know you said you had a little bit of struggle coming back from overseas and as well as with the post-traumatic stress. Call of Duty. What was your route with that? How did that help you when you played Call of Duty?
Let's talk about Halo. So like Call of Duty and definitely I'm struggling with the marriage right now. I'm going through divorce too. It was good, but then things start to happen in the end. But with in the beginning of that, when I was coming back, Call of Duty, I was able to immerse myself as a soldier, as an infantryman. I wasn't able to continue on active duty or deploy back into combat as an infantryman, either behind the desk. I didn't want that. I lead from the front. And saying all that, Call of Duty and all this is it gave me that immersion where I was able to engage into it. It's like, hey, I'm actually this door kicker. It gave me that feeling to where, man, this is me. This is what I used to do, and this is so I engaged. To turn into Halo. I had my spouse. She would be the dude, and I would be the chick's phone, and then we would beat the hell out of people, and man, they would talk so much trash. It was that outlet to help me understand. It's like, yes, I know I'm not military anymore, and it sucks that I'm not, but hey, this still makes me feel like I'm in combat. Maybe I'm kicking open doors. Maybe I'm shooting. Maybe I'm moving. Maybe I'm communicating. Maybe I'm doing all this thing on bounding or moving forward. All this stuff helped me not want to, I guess, end my life because of the fact is I didn't have the military anymore. That's what I struggle with every day, is because the military was my passion, my love, my life, my everything. And if I could do it and if I could stay in it, I would. I planned on dying in Iraq or combat. That's just where I planned on my life going. But, you know, definitely, like taking a step back and like going through what I went through, like my passion is now to help those soldiers that are going through the issues I went through, you know, transition in an easier process, speak up for what they believe in, like, and dedicate their time and passion into gaming, esports. It could be, you know, mechanics. It could be exercise. It could be, you know, tattoos. Just I want them to come into it and it's like, hey, transition out. Here's some resources or guides. You know, this is how Stephen took it. This is how Gabriel went. This is how other people went. And if this is your journey, your path, take it, and we'll guide you along the way.
That is awesome. No, of course. Just the story alone is powerful, and no, yeah, I mean, like I said, we could say it on and off again. You know how much you're doing, and the fact that, you know, you're going to these events and you're doing so much for the community, for yourself, for everybody in general that's involved with, you know, with yourself and with your company is awesome. Now, Steve, I know, and I wanted you to get it out there so, you know, we could kind of keep track with Warrior Gaming. You know what I mean? Now that you're part of the Gears of War RosterMania family, I want to be able to know what you're doing, when you're doing it, who's there. So give us a little bit about what upcoming events you and Warrior Gaming have going on.
No, most definitely. So our upcoming events that we have coming up is we also have, so thank God to you, you know, definitely a big shout out to you, man, for this show tonight. We also have our Warrior Gaming League Battle Stations community event on the 23rd, which I'm taking forward. You know, it could be wounded soldiers, active duty veterans, or their families to this, you know, this, I guess this championship boxing round. Then we also are giving support at Las Vegas GameCon, October 27th through the 29th. And then November 18th, we're going to be at the Warrior Gaming League booth at Vet Fest here in VFW Post 87. And then next year, we're going to launch our Battle of the Branches at Fort Campbell, USO. So we're definitely looking to impact the world and getting involved and starting the Battle of the Branches, USO against USO, unit against unit, company against company. So hell yeah.
That's awesome, and I'm sure that's gonna get sick. I'm sure the trash talk is insane.
You have no idea. So the Marines, I found out that they don't like to incorporate into, well, you know, they don't want to participate in first-person shooters. So, you know, definitely at our conventions that we're doing in Atlantic City, we'll give the Marines, you know, Barbie Dream House for the first 5 minutes. And then we'll transition them into like some Madden or something. We want to have some fun. We want the shit talking and rise. We want at the end, we want people to shake hands and grab each other and give a hug and be like, bro, that was the best tournament I had. Bet you bet. You know, that's what we're here for.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And that's funny. That was the first thing I thought about when I brought you on here and talked to you. You know, in between branches, I know it gets heated. You know, who's better, who's this, who's that. Even though you're all fighting for the same, you know, for the same team.
I believe Army's better. You know, screw the rest of them.
We're gonna say Army's better. I mean, whatever. You know, I actually have. Oh God, now that I think about it, it's pretty crazy. I came from the NYPD, obviously, in New York. I was a cop there, and we had a lot of military guys, and I wanted to tell you that. That's why I was laughing when you said this stuff. You know, they're probably watching like, Gabe, be careful what team you choose. But I had probably, I would say, a good amount, like 5 guys from the Army and 5 guys from the Marines, and then I had my good friend Wade. He was in the Navy, and also my other friend Micardo. He was also from the Navy. So they always used to talk shit to each other, talk trash. You know, I'm better than you. I'm better than this. Actually, my company sergeant in the academy, he was a Army Ranger. So, and I think he also had like 5+ years in the military, something like that. So he kind of said, I'm the platoon leader, so we're the best. The Army leads it. So I used to laugh. I mean, these guys had jokes. They had their terminology that they used in the military that only they understood. But it's funny that you say that because, you know, we're all on the same team, and I always used to say that just to be a jokester. But it's funny, you know what I mean? You want that competition and that excitement.
Like firsthand, you'll see it. It's like the Army's going to talk like degrade, and you're like stepping back as a civilian. You're like, what is going on? Like what? Like, but it's what we do. We talk trash, and like I honestly speak, the Army is the best. I'm going to say right now, Army Infantry, we lead, you guys follow. But, you know, and that's what's the love, the passion, the camaraderie, and the building and growing that I want civilians, or I want the other world to see that we continue to do. This is what builds us. And if the world saw it, you know, they would fall in love with that same mission.
Of course. And one thing that one of the viewers in here, Momo, she said Navy. The Navy is better than no one. I heard that a lot as well, which it's funny, and I wanted to bring it up again. I have a coworker of mine. He's also happens to be a detective. He's actually overseas right now with the Navy. His name is Nathan. So I want to wish him the best of luck out there, and you know, look forward to having him back soon enough. And that also brings up, Stephen, you know, at your event in Atlantic City next month, myself and also one of my coworkers here at our office where I work at, we want to be able to bring a shirt out there for you, and I'm going to obviously present that to you in person, just because, you know, I like to start the partnership that we have together, and it was awesome to be able to speak to you on all of this. So you could count me in on coming out there to see you in Atlantic City, because it's only about an hour and a half from me. I have to go. I have to go. Now, what are you going to be doing there? Give us a little bit about what's going to be happening in Atlantic City.
So hopefully we're going to be, so we'll have a booth there. But, you know, my main objective is to team up with the Microsoft store that's down there with Ray Forrester. And we're going to have this, you know, this Madden 18 or this tournament that can, you know, people can come in, house, or if it's veteran, civilian, or active duty, just something where we can get some tournaments or something going. We just want to like entice the crowd, bring out some prizes, product, swag, and stuff like that. Definitely having you guys out there, you know, would definitely be a plus. We would absolutely love it.
Oh, absolutely. I talk a lot of trash. I would love to meet everybody that you have coming out. You know, I'd love to talk to, you know, your friends, the military guys, everyone that's there supporting you guys. I'll be shouting out like crazy. Like I said, New Jersey's in my Atlantic City's in my backyard. So I'll be sure to be there. Now, do you actually play in these tournaments, or are you kind of on the outside of it?
So I do like to play, you definitely, but when somebody wants to go against the CEO or the founder, you know, I definitely want to incorporate myself into that. I love CSGO. CSGO is one of my biggest favorites. Player Unknown Battlegrounds. I've been playing that a lot lately, as well as Division. So if anybody wants to come and play and engage with us, like, most definitely, I will compete into the tournaments as well as like engage. But guess what? I can't win. You know, I'd rather somebody else get it. As a CEO, you know, I don't even take a profit from our organization. Everything goes back towards our soldiers, you know, our veterans, our active duty, you know, in order to continue what we're doing.
Oh, that's awesome. And yeah, of course, I mean, being a nonprofit like yourself and being able to give back to everybody is, you know, extremely important, and something that, you know, is awesome for these families and for these, you know, active and past military men and women. So that's something cool that we appreciate. I know I'm going to be there next month. I can guarantee you that. I'm hoping to have a huge announcement, probably more than likely next week. I'll hold on to my huge announcement that I'm going to be coming out with actually a broadcasting company that is going to be signing with me. So I'll probably be there representing them, and that's for everybody here watching this episode. Gears of War RosterMania is going to be taking it to the next level. Stephen, I wanted to be able to tell you that just because next week I'll be able to explain a little bit more on that and be able to elaborate. And as well, I want you guys involved when we have our major launch I guess episode, or maybe we do something special at the event. You know what I mean? I would love to stream live from there, which is always a possibility. But Stephen, I want to give you a chance to say anything else that you had to say before I let you go tonight. But Stephen, you've been a great guest. You're an awesome guy. I love what you do. The feedback that you had from here tonight, I'm getting text messages from family and friends saying that this guy is awesome. I would love to show you on here. But it's great to have you, Stephen. And like I said, any last words that you had for everybody?
I just want to say thank you to you, like, you know, mainly to you and all the civilian supporters out there. You guys are dedicated into supporting people like myself, our missions, our nonprofits. You know, you guys are freedom fighters. Anybody that's out there that says that, you know, thank you for your service. Well, you know, I'm going to tell you the same thing. Thank you for what you're doing for us. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your passion, your drive, your motivation, dedication, supporting me, my organization, our soldiers, our brothers, sisters, you know, wounded. You know, thank you you guys. Thank the freedom fighters out there. And if anybody wants to get involved with the Warrior Gaming League, we would love to have you. Definitely we want to see you in Atlantic City as well as Fort Campbell. Starting these local battle stations, reach out to us. We would love to engage and get you guys involved 100%. But Gabriel, you are the man. And I just want to say thank you again for your time and your support and your passion.
Of course, Stephen. Like I said, anything I can do to help you guys succeed and to help you succeed, and the men and women. Like I said, I'm a true supporter. Even before you got here on the show, it's always good to give back. Doing good to others only brings better to you. So again, Stephen, thank you for what you do. Thank you for what you continue to do. And let's link up next month. We should have an awesome event. We'll do something. We'll do something out there together. And again, thank you for coming. And have a good night, my friend.
All right, brother. Hey, thank you again for everything. You're truly amazing, bro.
No problem, Stephen. Have a good night, brother.
All right, you too.
Take care. All right, guys. Well, that is the way I like to wrap up my shows. Again, that was Stephen. He is the founder, CEO, and president of @WarriorGL_US. They do a lot of work for past and present military men and women out there. He helps military men and women come back into the civilian life, deal with post-traumatic stress disorder. Stephen had a crazy past, but what makes him different from everybody else is that he was able to overcome that and become a leader in, I guess you could say, his world or in his industry. And now he's working to give back to the people that are dealing with the same issues that he has coming from overseas. We don't understand, or we don't put ourselves in the places that these men and women do when they go overseas and fight for our country. You know what I mean? The fact that they're willing to be so selfless and go out there and fight for their family, fight for their kids, fight for their husband, their wives, you name it, they're doing it. So I think it's a great idea what Stephen is doing, and it's awesome that he's able to give back to those men and women, just because, as we all know, they don't get a lot when they come back, and it's also very hard to come back into it when coming back from overseas. And the fact that Stephen takes his time and his dedication and his nonprofit organization to help people like that is awesome and beyond crazy work and time that he puts into it, I'm sure. But again, that's the way we like to end an episode of Gears of War RosterMania, guys. I'll start to give you my spiel before I let you go. Next week, I should have a huge announcement for you guys. I'm hoping it'll be done by this week at the latest. But it looks like Gears of War RosterMania is taking the next level. I have been talking to a broadcasting company within the States, and it seems like I am going to be signing on board with them to be able to stream live from their network, as well as we're going to do a lot of pre-recording presentations, and we're also going to be at TwitchCon next month. They're actually flying me out there and taking care of me, and I'm going to be doing some crazy interviews out there and some live streaming as well at TwitchCon for this new company. I'd love to announce them tonight, but I don't like to do anything until it's official. But again, I want to thank them. They were watching tonight, and I was happy to give you guys and everybody here watching a great episode. Stephen, Kayla as well, Daniel Nagy with New Colt, as well as giving you the information for Mexico City being postponed and the 2K tournament that happened this past weekend. I'll continue to do that every week on the show, just to kind of give you guys some information and intel on what's going on in the Gears of War world, as well as introducing different guests each and every week. But lastly, before I let you guys go, I wanted to give another shout out to my good friend Dean. He just opened up his store, Platinum Star Games, in Howell, New Jersey. He's actually going to be running a grand opening this Saturday, $5 to enter a Super Smash Brothers tournament. First place gets 100% of the total entry fees as store credit. Second gets 50% of store credit, and third gets their $5 back that we're putting money out into the event. The store opens around 11 o'clock, and the tourney will probably start around 12 p.m. Eastern. Again, if you guys ever need information on that, you could DM me, or also look them up on Facebook or on Google, Platinum Star Games in Howell, New Jersey. But But that's it for them. Awesome store. I look forward to seeing you guys at his store. Dean and Katie Texter, good friends of mine. I told them that I appreciate them and I support them 100%. They've been there for me at gaming events before when I needed them. So I thank them. He's actually Beanman 1126 here in the show. But again, guys, I think that's it for me tonight. Again, thank you to all my guests here on the show. I have a lot of guests coming up within the next couple weeks and even the next month. I literally have everybody booked up for probably about 2-3 weeks out already. Awesome guests. I'm talking about casino owners, esports industry marketing managers. I can't even tell you guys. I want to keep it as a surprise, but I'm only getting better and better each episode, and with your guys' feedback, good or bad, I'll only continue to get better, and I appreciate each and every one of you that watches these episodes each week and supports me and, you know, my road to RosterMania and being able to bring shows to you guys each and every week. And like I said, with this deal, it's only going to get better. But again, guys, thank you. Love you all. Have a good night. And I'll see you next Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern. But before I let you guys go, there's something that was bothering me. I don't know why. I'm starting to think about it now. But yeah.
And you can dance for inspiration. Come on, come on.
I had to play this. After the end of the episode, there's nothing better. Nothing else better than playing some good music and dancing. This is how you de-stress and how you come back down from being so professional and entertaining, that you put the music on and you just let yourself get loose. I'm doing a little extra tonight because I have some people watching, and I'm sure they're gonna love this tomorrow when I see them. But yeah, guys, sit back, enjoy the music, and enjoy the episode. Woo. Oh man, I love it. All right, guys. I think that's it for me. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a teaser. Again, next Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern, twitch.tv/NJCUBANO. Hopefully I have a huge network announcement for you guys, as well as more music and more jams. But before I let you go, we just have to wait for this chorus to come down. Oh, and that's another thing. Steven. I want to thank Steven as well. I'm going to be at Atlantic City next month. Probably the 27th to 29th, it sounded like. But again, love you guys. Have a good night. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed this hair. Again, have a good night. This is for real this time. Later, guys.